Hello friends! It's been a little while since I've sat down and just journaled with you all. It's actually been a while since I have fully sat down and been in these books at all. I'm still using them sort of passively, but as you can see, this is my last week in my planner and this is my last week in my journal. So I've sort of been feeling adrift for the past couple of weeks. I think in part because I haven't been working in these books so much. I've sort of just been floating around. Life got busy. My brain got busy. So I think what we need to do today is just sit down and get my brain out onto paper. That's sort of just the most effective way for me to feel like my life is doing anything. So that's what I sort of wanted to invite you into today as I sit at my desk. It's Monday morning. I think it's time to plan out my week, and then I can go ahead and document the week that I have just experienced. So I'm going to set aside my journal for now so that I can kind of get my mind wrapped around where I am going this week and what my momentum is moving toward. First of all, okay, this is a little ridiculous, but I think part of why I haven't been moving toward my books lately is because my Hobonichi Uniball pen ran out of black ink, and something about the combination of this like fine point ballpoint working on the Hobonichi paper is so it's so satisfying that I want to come back to my books. So now that I am out of ink and I've lost my other pen, I have another one of these because they were freebies with each of my Hobonichi Weeks books. I have no idea where it is. I've checked couch cushions, I've checked under my desk. No idea where that ended up. So I'm sort of running on fumes trying to use. I used to really love these Mr. Pen pens. I still like them, just generally, but something about the Uniball with the Hobonichi is so addicting. So now that I don't have that, I'm gonna see about maybe getting a replacement because I do love this multi-barrel and I just need a replacement for this black. So hopefully I can do that somewhat soon because I think that might help get me out of my slump a little bit. But for now, we're using my second favorite pen. So let's dive into the week. I know that on Mondays, those are usually my sort of house and life reset days. So I know I'm going to need to go to the grocery store. I usually do laundry. And I really need to do dishes. Those are sort of my repeat things that need to get done on Mondays specifically. A lot of times I'll go to the library, but I don't think I have anything due and I don't have anything on hold. I think that is it. And then right now I'm filming. I'll go ahead and put that down so that I can cross it off later. Okay. And I know that I need to do a little social media post. I have, for the past few days, actually been stepping in to help do some social media marketing for a project my husband is working on. So that's been really fun. So I know I want to post something every day this week. So I will go ahead and put that on my to-do list for every day. Something else I know I want to do this week is post this video that we're filming right now. A lot of times I do my content in red just so that it stands out a little bit so it doesn't get lost in my big to-do list. So let me go ahead and put posting the plan and journal with me video. Got that planned. And if I want that to post by Friday, I should also probably start editing that tomorrow. I also have some client work to get done, so I want to edit video And then I am gonna flip back and try and find the last time I did a running to-do list, because I think it's about time to revisit that and see what progress I've been making. Let's see. To do next and upcoming. It's sort of been helping me as I plan to separate out my running to-do list into, okay, like these are the things I need to focus on versus things on the back burner that are like, okay, I don't want to forget that that's something I need to do, but it's not happening in the next week or so. So I'm gonna sort of sort my upcoming stuff into those categories. I do want to work on short videos, a book outline. I have a book that I'm really excited about that I keep thinking about, but I keep not sitting down to write it. And what I need is to finish the outline so that I know where to begin to tackle it. So that's something that I really need to get going on. I've also, which category should I put that in? I really want to make zines. I recently learned how to use the risograph machine. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I really want to make some zines, and it's been on the back burner for like a year, and I'm finally going to sit down and do that sometime soon, hopefully. I also want to do a few other things. All right, I think that is about everything for my running to-do list. So in order to not leave all of these things just sort of floating in my ideation phase forever and ever, what I like to try and do, especially when I do take the time to fully update this running to-do list, is I like to just pick a couple of these things that I want to do next. And I just figure out, okay, well, what's the next step on that? And move it over into my weekly to-do list so that I actually start moving the needle on something. They're not just ideas floating around. I need to do something. So the next step in working on my book would be to finish out that outline. And I bet I could do that this week. So I have Tuesday pretty full of video editing, but let's move over book outline onto Wednesday. And then, that's my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday planned. And then I always assume that something is going to take me longer than I had ideally hoped for. So whatever doesn't get done here will get bumped to Thursday and Friday. And I will get to that when the time comes. Okay, I'm feeling better. So I think we are good with my planning, which means we are moving over into my weekly documenting for this past week. I have everything I did throughout the week jotted down on this sticky note pad just to get it on paper, make sure I don't forget anything, but it needs to move into its permanent residence. I was very excited to start using this sticky note pad. I went to some estate sales this weekend and one of them had so many office supplies. So I might actually do my vintage estate sale stationery haul real quick. I got this Post-it note pad. No idea how old it is, but based on the telephone that it's showing on the back here, old enough that people were using landlines and needed something to take notes on. But yeah, they're just giant sticky notes. I didn't need it, but I just couldn't leave it behind. I also had found this little spiral notebook. Again, not exactly sure how old this is. I think it has to be 70s or 80s based on the fact that it was 15 cents, first of all. But also the previous owner did a lot of their budgeting in here, apparently, because there are quite a few of these pages filled in. The 50-cent fudgesicles makes me smile. So of course I'm gonna have to leave these in here when I start using this book. I think I'm think I'm obligated to leave the marks of the previous owners in here just because it's so sweet. But based on the prices of things at this point, I do think this is pretty old. I'm not sure yet what I'll use this for. Maybe I'll use it for budgeting. I have been meaning to do more on paper budgeting to sort of keep an eye on that better, because digital just doesn't do it for me. It might also just be for jotting down notes on the go. I could keep it in my purse. I don't know, but I loved it. I couldn't leave it. I grabbed some double-sided tape because I can always use more tape for my scrapbooking. Actually, now that I'm looking, it doesn't say that it's acid-free, so I don't know, maybe that shouldn't be for scrapbooking. We'll see. I grabbed a handful of clips. They're labeled as cord clips. I'm gonna use them as journaling clips, which I might even be able to use one right now because, as you can see, my journal is getting a bit chunky and has some trouble laying down flat. So maybe I will use one of these right now to hold the page down while I'm journaling. Oh my gosh, I think that's so much fun. I don't know, I love the Traveler's Company brass clips. I love the clampy clips that you see all over Pinterest and Instagram. I would love to get some of my own, but there's something about finding things organically and using them maybe in an unintended way that's so much fun to me. I love upcycling things rather than just buying the things that everyone else has, because I don't know, I think it's so much fun to personalize with things that aren't just on the shelf at stationery stores. And you know, you have to dig around. You have to embrace your inner raccoon to dig around in the trash to find really unique things like this. Couple more things that I found. I got a new in-box long arm stapler, which I've been looking for because I want to be making my own zines. So being able to staple literally anything is going to come in handy really soon. And then I finally got a cutting mat. Okay, this is embarrassing. I've just been using just a piece of cardboard whenever I'm using an X-Acto knife, which I can't imagine is super safe. It's also not super effective. So I'm very excited. This was like $3. I finally have a cutting mat to do my various crafting on. Super exciting. Okay, I think that was everything I wanted to share. I just really wanted to be able to share some of those cool items with you guys. All that to say, loving this little notepad that I wrote down my weekly doings on, and I'm gonna use it to start looking for just things that I did throughout the week to see if I can find maybe a piece of ephemera or a sticker that has something to do with what I was doing that day so that I can fill in a little bit of decoration before I go in and write. Ooh, one thing I set aside was I had gone to Half Price Books this weekend and I got a whole haul. I'm working on restocking my childhood books that I didn't keep back in the day that I'm now super regretting. So I got, this one's from the Sisters Grimm series. I got some Disney Fairies books. I got some Boxcar Children, some Magic Treehouse. So I have quite a few of these little tags. And I think that the color is just so fun. All right, I've got a few stickers down. I think I need a little something right there probably, but I like to find some little things that go along with what I was doing that week. So it was a bit of a stormy, rainy week, so I have this magazine clipping already tucked in there. I got an antique desk on Monday, so this is a coffee table, but I figured it sort of gets the point across. I've had this lemonade sticker sitting around for forever, and I was like, you know what? I had lemonade on Friday. I'm just gonna stick that in there. I did my estate sale shopping on Friday, so I put some little items to symbolize that. And then on Sunday, we went to go see Obsession, which was a lot. I'm not usually a big horror movie person, but it was so interesting. I have been thinking about it nonstop ever since. It was a wonderful movie. I'm gonna need a cool down though on watching it again because it was a lot. But I thought that sticker was a great representation of that. So I think what I need now is I've got a lot of yellow going on, which I love, but I think I need something to balance it out a little bit. Oh, some purples might be good too. I've got some these have purple and blue. Let's work with these real quick. Yeah, I like to add washi to the page just to bring a little bit more color in, kind of make it feel more finished. Maybe like a little candle. Because I did do some cleaning and I like to light a candle after I've done my cleaning. There we go. Okay, that's feeling a bit more finished. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start writing in that case. Oh, I forgot. I added this. I don't even remember what this came off of, but it was just off of a box around my house. And I was like, you know what? That's a fun little sticker. And it's so true about my very bulky journal. So I put the caution heavy sticker in here. I forgot about that until just now. Stamp didn't quite come out the way I hoped, but that is okay. We will just roll with it. But with that, I think this spread is about done. Obviously, I want to go back and do some journaling here. I'll have to figure out what I want to put there because I could talk about the movie because I have lots of thoughts about that. I also just had some busy days this weekend that I didn't get to go super in depth with because I've got kind of a limited space in the setup that I have here, but that is something I can decide a little bit later. For now, I'm feeling pretty good about getting caught up here. And with that, I am all caught up on my books. I've got my planner all ready for all of the things I need to do this week. I've got my journal caught up to where we are in real life, and I am just feeling much more equipped for the week ahead. So thank you so much for hanging out with me while I get this all figured out. This system really is what keeps me afloat right now. It's what makes me feel like I am actually doing something, that I'm actually moving forward and progressing toward my goals and toward just living a full life where I pay attention, where I notice everything that's happening around me and what's happening within me. So I feel better. I feel good about this. One of these days soon, I will give you sort of an update of how this system is working now that we're halfway through the year. It's a little wild to see just how much has filled up since then and just how far everything has come. So look forward to that in the next few weeks. But in the meantime, thank you again for being here. If you have any tips and tricks that you use in your planning or your journaling, absolutely feel free to drop them in the comments. I am always looking for more ideas and hacks for making this work better. I'm always looking for ways to make these books work for me rather than the other way around. And of course, if you have any questions about my system, let me know, and I am so happy to chat about that. Now I need to be off to finish up my to-do list for today, so I will see you later.